to In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. Mr. S, we got another great show tonight.
We do. I'm excited about today.
I think today's gonna be funny.
It is funny. I think it's gonna be inspiring, and you're gonna see why. People are gonna see why.
We got a great person that we're gonna get to interview, and I've known him for a little while now. His mom's one of my best friends, and he's hilarious, besides amazing. And so it's going to be good. So I'm going to let you introduce him.
Without any further delay, we got Mr. Zach Rule with us today.
What's up, man? How y'all doing? It's funny you say best friend. It's not the way she talks about you, but I mean, that's nice.
Well, she's talking smack all the time.
I'm just playing. I know she develops way more eggs than you do on a daily basis.
Oh, I want to make a comment about the eggs.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. You know Cheryl. Cheryl, I was not getting as many eggs in my dozen eggs, and I started getting all excited.
That's great. Oh, he thought he had, yeah.
Her and my wife were laughing. I couldn't figure out why they were laughing. I was going around, man, look, they're putting out, and these hens are putting out, and all of a sudden. My wife Cindy goes, hey, you want to talk to Cheryl? Maybe Cheryl knows something about that. And then it dawned on me.
They planted them.
And, well, even though she did that, I still love her, and she's one of my very best friends ever in my whole life. And, she was with me during a time that I needed help.
Yeah.
Your mom was. I went through a bad divorce, and she helped me overcome. Mm-hmm. And that, to lead into what we do here, we are a show about overcoming. Zach, we told you.
Yeah.
And you've had a few things.
And most of our guests, we have to kind of introduce and do the background of what they're overcoming. Yours is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So here you are. You hold a bench press record.
Yes, sir.
The first person to bullfight.
Yeah.
Without legs.
Yeah, first leg was bullfight. Yeah.
AKA we heard sexiest man on four wheels.
Keep going. Man, keep going.
And you got the guns. You get Texas boy. Show them that Texas flag on that.
Oh,
on that
yeah,
bicep.
man. It's funny. I got that. I got this tattoo in California actually, but I was like, I'm in California. What's the most Texas thing I do? I was like, I'm gonna get a Texas flag.
I love
it. Looks like a 12-year-old did it, but it's all right.
No, it looks good. It looks good.
Well, I come in here talking smack about his arms almost as big as mine. I kind of want to hide. Do you have a blanket I'm covered? I'll hide my arms.
So Zach, you probably get lots of different questions. Mm-hmm. The first one was, have you been like this way your whole life? Mm-hmm. Did injury happen?
Yeah. So this is going to shock everybody. I'm actually a congenital amputee, so I was born like this. I lost my legs when I was born with a leg deformity, and they eventually got amputated fully when I was 2 years old. So I tell everybody I've been like this since birth because I don't really know any other way, But I'm happy it's going to sound funny, but I'm kind of happy it happened that way compared to I'm happy it happened that way other than, if I had to lose them, I'm glad it happened like that rather than me.
Like you don't know what you're missing type of thing?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I adapted real early on and I really didn't know what I was missing, right? Like I was just kind of...
This is just life as far as you're concerned.
And I've seen people and I've rehabilitated people along the way that have lost them later on in life, and it seems like it's always just a real mental warfare with themselves. They don't feel like they're a lot of guys, they don't feel like they're manly enough anymore. They feel like they lost something, they can't do a lot.
So you're thankful you don't have to deal with that component.
Absolutely, right?
Well, we won't show her, but he's got a beautiful...
Let's move your mic a little closer up there. Oh. We got some technical. We got a little technical interference here.
You got me? Am I good? Okay.
Okay, so I'm not even showing up.
No, you are now with that one.
Now with this.
There we go.
So we'll just have to hand it back and forth.
No, this one I think is working.
No, you're good.
We're good.
I feel like if you knew I was going to come in here flexing, you came out here looking like Midnight Cowboy and creased up, ostrich skin, belt buckle. I feel like he's flexing on us in a way, isn't he?
I got my old grungy boots. I kind of put them down. You can't see them. He's got those shiny ostrich.
I've saved a lot of money not buying those. A lot.
Oh my goodness. So you're born that way, and I know the story, but I'm going to jump into it because I think I'm just so amazed. First of all, it means a lot to me, and I'm just so amazed at what he's done in his life. So your life started out overcoming. Most people, they get going in life and then they have to overcome a few things or whatever. Man, you started life having to overcome, but you didn't even know you were overcoming.
No, I mean, I was I didn't, man. I mean, I've spent a lot. I've had 29 surgeries on my legs alone, just trying to get them right for prosthetics or bone spurs. And I was born with my knee fused to my hip. So there's just all types of stuff going on. So like I spent a lot of time in the hospital growing up. A lot of my childhood is in the hospital, but I never really, I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it too much because it was always kind of fun. They always made it really fun. I felt like I got a lot of surgeries at Scottish Rite Hospital in Dallas, and they would give me like arcades in there, like, you know, PlayStations. They would have tons of like fun activities to do. So I go,
So you had good memories.
fun. But I feel like that there has set me up through so much of my life because like when I wasn't in the hospital, I was trying to live 100 miles an hour because I wasn't used to like, you know, being out. So I was trying to go fast.
So you didn't know the next time you're going to have to go back.
Exactly.
So it's like,
So
it's like letting the dog out of the fence and they're just going crazy.
Never wanted to play video games. Always wanted to be outside or doing something, you know, doing
Active.
something just like a straight dude would do, you know? And then, yeah, I just ended up, I feel like conquering a lot just with that attitude there, though, has kind of put me above most people in my situations.
When did you start lifting?
Early on.
When you go, obviously it's a passion of yours.
Oh, yeah, early on. Junior high, I think I started off in junior high, which it wasn't, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it was like back when like AOL, I mean, I'm showing my age right here. Yes, back when AOL was around, like, and so it was, we had a bench press in the same room as a computer. So while one of us was on like the chat rooms, like, you know, just trying to, you know, ASL, age, sex, location, and, you know, we would be at, because you didn't share pictures back then. It was just kind of like, you kind of had to like hope.
Some of our listeners don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, hopefully you go for the word. So like while one of us was chatting up a storm, the other one would be bench pressing and working out kind of, and we ended up kind of getting strong off that. And then I took that in the freshman year. And then I noticed like I was stronger than a lot of people already. I was like, man, I'm kind of up there. And I took it as a passion, like stay number one in the field house in like the bench press, the military press, all the lifts that I could, right? Like obviously not squats and deadlifts, but.
You can't do a squat?
Not,
I get out and do you on one thing.
but before the accident,
Shoot. So Zach, you started out overcoming in life.
Mm-hmm.
You played football.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When did you play football?
Junior high and high school. Like I rode around on a skateboard. I was telling you all this before it started. I rode around on a skateboard. I actually didn't have a wheelchair until I was like 24, I believe.
I get a new car with it.
Oh man, so it honestly, like I was so fast on the skateboard that I felt like the wheelchairs or prosthetics just slowed me down
because you tried prosthetics too.
Yeah, I was on prosthetics until about the 6th grade, and I lost like a piece to them to hold them, like to pretty much hold it on my leg. I lost like a valve piece, and I went to school on my skateboard, and to a kid that's amazing. That's the funnest thing you could possibly. I mean, what kids like? What do you if you're telling me I can go to school on a skateboard? So I went to school on a skateboard, and I never put the prosthetics on again, like never again past that. I just stayed on it. I had so much fun. I ended up going to junior high, and I tried out for football on. So I was just crawl around the ground. If you ever watch like Planet of the Apes, I got around exactly the same way, dude. Like I told you, they looked identical, like how they move around how I did. So I would just play on the ground at a defensive tackle for. I started off as Alice Johnson over there in Channelview, and I eventually moved to CE King and started playing high school ball.
Wow.
And yeah, made a way up.
And all the way to 24 before you even tried a wheelchair. Did you thought about it before that, or was it just not even a thought?
No, like it was.
You were just content.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, I mean, obviously people in wheelchairs be like, man, you need to get a chair, and I'm like, no, you need to get a board, dude. Like, you know, because if you honestly would have told me at that age, I'd be 36 now on a wheelchair, I'd be like, oh, you're out of your mind, dude. Like I'm gonna stay on the skateboard till the wheels fall off, you know.
Yeah, why would you not? You
and
enjoyed
then
it.
I started getting around wheelchair sports, and then honestly, my back started hurting me a little bit because skateboard don't have no shocks, so you're pretty much just taking all that
everything.
impact to the vertebrae. I was like, man, I started getting up, and I was like, I'm too young to be feeling like this, you know. I got in a wheelchair, and then eventually, like, you know, my back don't hurt no more, so I stayed in it. And it's a lot more acceptable. I could hear you. Like, I was so low to the ground, and the skateboard wheels make a lot of noise. So, like, a lot of time when people are talking to me, I'd have to, like, stop moving, and I'd listen to what they're saying, and I'd catch back up. So it's just a lot easier just doing everyday life.
When's the last time you rode a skateboard?
When I clean my house, when I
Okay,
mop
that's
the
how you
floor,
clean.
I'll get back on it. Yeah, I'll get back on it, mop up, and stuff like that. That's about it.
So you say clean the house. I mean, you're very capable.
Yeah.
You just make it happen. I mean, you drove here and you do all these things that.
Yeah, man. I've always been like that throughout my life. I feel like a lot of people, especially in like wheelchairs or my situation, they kind of like, they almost like adapt the world to them, if that makes sense. They'll get like all the fancy things to get in and out of their cars. They'll, you know, everything to make their life easier. I felt like I always adapted myself for the world. Like, so I always, you know, trained myself. Like, I was throwing my wheelchair in my truck with one arm early on. Like, I didn't need no lift or nothing like that.
Did you think about that consciously? I mean, what you said is pretty profound. Just adapting yourself to the world.
I didn't at the time, no. But like,
You just did it.
As I'm getting older, I started like seeing it like that. Because I still see a lot of people like, you know, they'll take the easy route, and I'm like, man, I wish you would just, you know, cowboy up and, you know, like do something. But you know, they'll make their life a little bit easier. They'll use a sliding board, and they don't necessarily have to. A sliding board is where somebody transfers from their wheelchair to like a seat, and they got like a little plastic board. They'll use those rather than just, you know, getting them the strength to transfer themselves. And that drives me insane. That I can't stand seeing that.
And we were talking earlier about some of the jokes that you can make that other people can't, because you've got something you're dealing with. So you can tell people to cowboy up. Like, come on, what can they possibly say back?
Oh, dude, I get it all the time. Like, and you know, I'm a personal trainer, so I got clients like, my ankles hurt today. You think I should work out? And I'm like,
I don't even have ankles.
like, you're asking your legless trainer if it's okay if we can work around a ankle. You know, it's like, all right. Like,
That kind of puts them, does it like a sobering moment? Like, oh, shoot. All right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It breaks the ice, too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'll go into it. Like, if I hear somebody mention anything about divorce, I'm like, oh, dude, my first divorce, she took the leg. You know, like, I break the ice with it. It's a good icebreaker. And it's honestly like, it's just a funny joke to start off with. You know, it kind of eases the tension a little bit. Because everybody's usually thinking it. If I roll in a room, everybody's kind of like cutting towards the legs. They'll look off, and you know, so I'll be like, all right, elephant in the room, you know.
So you learned that obviously early on, just the social interaction. You know, just how do you get around other kids? Because kids can be rough, I imagine, as far as making fun of people, and you just learned to just roll with it.
And see, thank God, I never got that. I always had the coolest friends. Like, I owe a lot. Every time I do a motivational speaking deal, I always give a lot of credits to the friends I had, because they included me with everything, dude.
Well, ever since I've known you, which is 16 or 17, me and your mom has been best friends for a good 15 or 16 years, so I've known you since
I've been
then.
knowing you a while now, man. Yeah.
And you've had tons of friends, and I know your girlfriend, which I think is beautiful, and she's
Thank you.
in the audience, and don't get mad at me for saying this, but I remember when you was young, you had all these girls chasing you around. And I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I won't go into detail, because some of it's not speakable on here. But,
I got you.
you know what
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. No, I've never had trouble. Pulling women, I guess, or like talking to. I've never been shy about talking to women at all. A lot of people, like I get that question a lot, even still to this day, especially with other disabled people. They're like, man, how do you get confidence to like even, you know, like talk to other? I'm like, man, it's just conversation to me. So I never really viewed it as anything type of like sort of stressful or anything like that. But so I'm happy I didn't either. And I think having the no legs, having the eyeballs on me all the time kind of helped out with that as well.
Well, you mentioned that, you know, you've known him a long time. I haven't. I just met you today. We get to talking. So you give your friends a lot of credit, but I'm going to flip it around. They were able to do that just because of your attitude and energy. So the fact that you are the person you are, that just they're like, hey, this guy's cool. They're wanting to include you. You could have probably just kind of, you know, made yourself small and just not want to, and they might feel forced to include you. But just the way you are, they're like, no, man, we want Zach.
Yeah, man, it was some peas in the pod right there. You know, 2 peas in the pod. Like, I feel like it was the perfect energy to match each other's. Because honestly, like, I wanted to try everything. Like I said, I spent a lot of my time in the hospital, so I wanted to try everything, and they didn't allow me to like exclude myself from it. Like if my friends went and played dodgeball, if I no, you're coming, dude. Like, you know, I played trampoline dodgeball a lot growing up.
Trampoline
So like,
dodgeball.
I was doing everything like all the normal kids. I say this a lot, and people don't believe, but I feel like I lived a real normal life compared to somebody without legs would live. You know, like I have definitely didn't live the normal legless life. I feel like I lived a more normal normal life than the legless guy.
You know, our show is about overcoming, and every case we've ever had, there's always been other people that helped in the overcoming. And how much would you say having a mama like you have, because she's a firecracker?
Oh, it's
I mean, she don't, you don't complain around her, you don't talk negative around here. She will call you. I don't care who you are.
she's a little rough around the edges. She's a little. I call her my warden, dude.
You're a warden.
Yeah, she's rough, but maybe you need somebody like that on your team, right? But I feel like she had a lot to do with like pretty much everything. My mom didn't. I mean, man, shout out to my mom, because she got a lot of flack, she got ridiculed a lot for how she was raising me, because she made me do everything. She made me
people
do.
thinking that
she
you're
made me
being
pump.
too hard on
Like
the
she made me
kid.
do everything like a normal kid would do. Like I pumped her gas, I cleaned the house, I vacuumed. Like I'm talking, she just made me do everything a normal kid would do. I did chores. She made me do, and then a lot of people didn't like that because I mean I guess she was kind of rough, but that.
It's the best thing that could ever happen.
Oh my God, she was well above her years. I mean, I tell this story because this is like the most like thought, or just the most heard story, or like sought out story that people want to hear. But this is a true one. Is my mom like I started motivational speaking. I'm just gonna give y'all like how she is. Started motivational speaking, and I was like, man, I want to put a cool like a heart pulling story in there. So I was like, Mom, do you remember when I asked you, I remember I was like 11 years old, I asked her to put the cups from the top shelf on the bottom where I don't have to get a chair, slide a chair to the counter, get on the counter, get the cup down. It's a bunch of steps, right? And she was like, no. What are you going to do when I'm gone? Like, she's like, the world is not going to be that easy on you and this and that. And at the time, I was like, damn, man, she's being so hard on me, man. Like,
Wow.
why? It's just a cup move, you know? Like, but that led into how I lived my whole life throughout that, you know? And like, I just went into it with a no excuse attitude. And if I wanted to try something, I wouldn't allow anybody to tell me no, or I wouldn't care what kind of stares I got or anything like that. Because
That
it's
is
going to come with a
huge.
lot.
Behind every great man, there's a mama.
Oh, dude, my mom's awesome. Like you said, she's hard, but I couldn't imagine having like any softer mom. You know, like
You wouldn't be.
she took up both roles too. Because I never met my dad, so my mom I felt
So you never
like,
knew your dad at all.
never
He
met
wasn't
him
in the
at
picture.
all. No, not one day. So she definitely took up both of the roles, and she knew that. So I felt like in her doing that, she was like a little bit more like
She had to
stern
play dad and mom.
Exactly, right. And she was doing that to the best her ability as she could. So I feel like she was just a little rough.
Well, we'll get off of her after this, but she is one of the most amazing people that I've ever had the privilege of knowing, and I love calling her friend. She's one of my best friends, and she loves the whole family. My whole family loves her, and she's incredible.
She talks highly about you, man. Y'all been friends for a long time.
We have been. Okay, now enough of her. I talk to her every day, so enough of her.
No, all right.
I want to know more about you. So what is the most you ever bench press?
Most
Now hold it, make me look good, because don't make me look too bad.
Gotcha. No, so I was in the CrossFit for a while. Then I eventually got into a bench press competitions, powerlifting competitions, and I worked my way up to. I got 501 pounds in competition. Most I ever did at my home gym was 515, but that wasn't in competition. That was just in the home gym.
Ooh. That's up there.
I can't even lift one side of 5.
Oh man, it took a quite an effort. No lie, I failed on the platform 6 times before I finally got it the 7th time, and I felt more prepared going for it the first time than I did the 7th time.
Wow. And that's what this whole show is about, is overcoming
challenging yourself?
Oh, I was about to quit. I ain't gonna lie. Like if it was anything I was about to quit on, it was definitely going for the 500-pound bench press.
All right, I said I wasn't gonna talk about your mom, but if you would have quit, she would have kicked your.
Oh man, I was like, man, it ain't worth it, dude. I'm
What
like
kept
tortured.
you going? Yeah, what did push you? Like, why do it? What do you get out of it?
The last one was like I was so close to getting it, and I was like, damn, man. And, you know, I'm not a father. I'm not, but I think, okay, if I did have children, right? I was like, if I had kids, if I was like, hey man, like you get knocked down 6 times, get up 7, and I didn't get up the 7th time, which meaning like, you know, 7th try for the bench press, then I'd look like a coward. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, I gotta go at least one more. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm just gonna complete focus it and really, you know, bust my tail and try to get after it. And I did, and luckily got it out the way, man, because I was like, God, I don't know if I had another run in me, you know?
So you say you don't have kids, but you're living your life as being responsible. Like you realize that you're inspiring, people are looking towards you.
All the time.
I guess that's
All
something
the
that
time.
probably pushed you. You don't have the children, but you know that people are looking up to you, and you said, all right, I can't let them down.
Exactly. And I mean, you don't think about that growing up until you get, I feel like you're like later on in life, and you're like, you start seeing like, man, everybody really, like people are watching, you know, like you really do make a difference in people's lives. You really know it. You don't understand it.
I think all of us have that.
A difference in my life because I hear the stories all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for 15, 16 years now, every time you do something, your mama, Zach did this, Zach did that, and you've inspired me. And I want you to
Thank
know
you.
that.
Appreciate that.
And you countless others. I mean, you probably can't count how many people you've inspired. You know, how can they say no to something and you're already doing it? No legs, no, you know, having to overcome 10 times more than everybody else.
Oh, it definitely happens, man.
Yeah.
I could look at somebody in the same situation as me that's like fairly new to a wheelchair and tell them like, oh dude, it's fine. You're gonna be on the same boat as me in a little bit, you know, and they do not believe it. Like I'm
Really?
like, even though I'm like living proof, I could show them, they won't believe it. Some of them, very few, right? A lot of them get inspired and they'll like, you know, try to start working out and like, you know, get competitive. But some of them are just defeated.
It's the mental.
Oh my God, they're defeated right off the gate. Yeah.
So where is this taking you? And I'm leading to, and what I mean by that is taking you to front page of magazines.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking you on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what it's done for you.
Oh, fitness?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's honestly gave me a life, gave me a career for sure. I met tons of people. I don't think like I said, like fitness allowed me to like share my story to inspire others. That's all it did. It allowed me an outlet, and it was cool because I feel like I couldn't have spread my tentacles as far as I have if I wasn't in the situation that I'm in. Like I'm doing stuff that nobody's seen before, and I realize that, and so it helps out a lot, you know. But I've traveled the world just to do the fitness.
You travel the world, and I assume here in Houston, there's a community. I'm sure you get involved with other people with disabilities, and you get to see people maybe that are newly disabled, and you get to talk to them.
I love doing that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. Favorite things to do is talk to somebody that's like rehabilitation, if we're going through it, just fairly new to a wheelchair or limb loss or whatever. Because a lot of times, if they're military, usually they're a little, you know, they're a little pissed at the world and they're like kind of bitter and like upset. And then they're already like a lot of times if they're not military, they're already defeated and they haven't even like step one yet, you know. And I like being there because I feel like if they have questions, it's kind of hard to ask your physical therapist. It's like a normal person, like what's sex gonna be like? What's going to the restroom?
Yeah, so they don't want to ask these questions.
Exactly, they got so many questions that like you can relate to that like helps them out. So I feel like I love just going to like people that are like fairly new to wheelchairs and helping them.
Before we go any further, if people wanted to get in touch with you, if they wanted you to come speak at an office, if they wanted you to talk about overcoming, if they wanted to hire you as a personal trainer, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, pitbull.rule@gmail.com. Give me an email. Yeah, or any social media outlet. I'm Pitbull Rule, Zach Pitbull Rule everywhere.
And Rule is
RUHL. Yeah.
RUHL.
And we'll post those. We'll get your socials and we'll post them
Definitely.
in the bottom of this so people can see it. But as far as inspiring other people, what do you see as the most, if there is such thing, as a common thread of the people that feel defeated that you've got to try the hardest? How do you help these people that seem stuck more mentally? It sounds like,
Man, like it's hard to show them that they didn't lose much. Like
they're focused on the loss.
I feel like they're focused on that, and I'm like, bro, it's just like one aspect of life. You're talking about walking, like you got a wife you can love, you got kids at home, you got so much other things you could live for that you already have purpose for, and you're letting like 2 legs, like I call that paper cuts. You know, like
That's
like
an interesting way to
really
look at
nothing,
it,
dude. You know, it's really nothing, and being in wheelchair sports, I have seen tons of people that are in so much worse situations than like what other people think they're in. You know,
It's all relative at the
and
end of the
happy
day.
as a clam. I'm talking about like you got people that could barely move their fingers. Like honestly, the only function they got is like in their hands. And I'm talking about smiling ear to ear, learning 6, 7 languages, like
Doing what they can
beast. Yeah.
Wow.
That inspires me, you know. And then you have somebody who just, lost, like I said, like a below the knee amputation, and they think their world's over. I'm like, bro, we call that paper cuts in the wheelchair world. Like you're gonna be fine.
Really?
Yeah. You're gonna live a normal life. It's just a foot. Like chill.
Wow.
It ain't until you
you-
get to above the knee that it starts like making like
That's
okay.
the big difference.
Yeah.
So you've played football.
Mm-hmm.
You've did the bullfighting.
Yeah.
Tell us about that one.
Man, I was just looking for a challenge. I remember I was
Just
talking
looking for a challenge.
I was talking to my buddy about it, and I was like, man, I feel like I want to do something, dude. And he was like, what are you planning on doing? He's in a wheelchair himself. It's like, hey, I feel like being a rodeo clown. And he was like, dude, what? And I was like, I know it's stupid, huh? And then they ended up, it's a bullfighters only academy came to Houston, and then they were like doing like some demo thing. And then they had this kid in there that was like getting ready for it, but he was kind of timid. And I was like, son, it's really not that scary. I was like, I'll get in there. And he was like, yeah, right. And I was like, I really will. So I got in there and I was like dancing around the bull for a little bit. When I did, everybody went crazy. Like cowboys started stomping their feet. And then it's like, bro, we got to show this to the world, man. This is awesome, So we started like, I guess just practicing, and then they had a rodeo, which is the only rodeo that kind of like will let me try. Was an all-black rodeo on Juneteenth. On Juneteenth, it was the coolest.
They're the only one to give you a shot.
It was the coolest rodeo I possibly could have got in, dude. Like, I'm so happy I got in with these guys. Because, like, they really took me underneath their wing. It was like, they took wheelbarrows and was, like, practicing with me, showing me how to, like, juke around, like, bulls pretty good. It ended up being a cool little show. I ended up doing, like, a rodeo clown work at a rodeo over here.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, I was just saying, you make the most of every single situation. That's what I love about hearing your stories.
I've always been
And you're
real
always
fast with
looking
my
for a
hands.
challenge.
Yeah, I've always been real fast with my hands, and I was like, man, I can get away from a bull. I feel like, like I feel like I can toss and turn, and then it wasn't until like I was sitting there, and then I was like kind of juking around.
Did you have any close calls like that?
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I've had some close spills. I've had one where I broke my hand. Where I did this, I overall broke it at basketball, but I think I broke it beforehand at that rodeo because I was kind of like right in front of him, and I went to go push away. When I did, his hoof kind of hit me in the top of the hand. Wasn't nothing but a tap.
That's enough.
Oh man, it swelled it up so bad. And then the following week, I went to a basketball tournament and fell down.
Made
and
it
I caught
worse.
myself, and that's when I really broke it. Yeah. But I've had some
So you play basketball too?
wheelchair basketball. Yeah. Wheelchair. I pretty much play every wheelchair sport you can think of. Yeah.
And you've done some pretty acrobatic things. Well, people, once again, will put the social media, but you've done some pretty wild things with the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, dude. I could wow some crowds with the wheelchair on me. Yeah. Well, I started getting hate online. It all started.
Hate?
Because I started posting workout videos. That's how I pretty much started my online presence.
Where's the hate come from?
People were just like, "Oh man, it's obviously they're like it's easier to do pull-ups, muscle-ups, whatever. It's easier if you're missing half your body.
Oh my
it's
gosh!
I could do that too if I didn't have no legs. If I only had to focus on the upper body, I'd be able to do that." And so I was like, "Okay, like how do I like do something cool to shut them up?"
Yeah, right.
So I was like, "Okay, what if I just add my wheelchair? That's extra weight. That's
There you
extra
go.
30 pounds right there. So I strapped my wheelchair to me and I started doing muscle ups, ring muscle ups, bar muscle ups, push ups, stuff like that. And then everybody I noticed the hate started trickling down a little bit. Now it's more or less they all say like, oh, it's the real life Joe Swanson off of Family Guy. That cop off of Family Guy, that's all they ever say now.
So I'm gonna ask you to do something kind of crazy, but I've seen it before. I want you to flex for everybody.
Oh, I got that. I used to be a little bit bigger than what it is now. It's not top notch shape anymore though. I lost a lot of weight. Yeah, compared to the bench press days, yeah. Right now I'm like at 150 probably, and at that time I was probably 170.
And people got to recalibrate that. You're missing half of your body, so 170.
Well, that's
all upper. That's
I try to tell people that. I'm like, man, okay, so if I gain 4 pounds, that's like really it looks like probably 10, 15 pounds on somebody like walking, because it's all upper body. None goes to the legs, you know. So, and like I said, 160 for somebody without legs. I probably should be like 240. I don't know, 230.
So you obviously love to challenge yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are some of the things on your horizon that you're?
I don't know, man. I'm just right now.
Hasn't come across yet?
I'm not. Nah, yeah, it's kind of driving me insane, to be honest.
You'll know when it happens. You're looking for it.
Yeah, I'm on the alert, dude. I would say I'm lurking for something. You know, I gotta have some sort of fitness challenge or something. I thought about dabbling into CrossFit again because I took a long break from it, and I got into powerlifting and I went back to it. And so I thought about going back into it again, but I'm like, man, I just don't have the same motivation. It's not the same motivation.
Kind of been there, done that. You want something
right?
new.
Yeah, like I want something new that really would be like, I want to suck at first. I want to be bad at it.
Yeah, you want to have to work at it.
Yeah. So
that's a very good perspective. A lot of folks are scared of things because they're going to suck at them. They avoid those.
Yeah.
You're intentionally trying to find something that you're not good at so you can become good at it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's
I like the challenge.
alone.
Yeah. I like being bad at stuff first.
Well, maybe we get some of our listeners to write in, just give some ideas to challenge this man. He needs a challenge because whatever you throw at him, he's going to crush it. So let's give him something hard.
I thought about more or less like the almost like the same spiel, like going YouTube route, but I want to like travel the world and go to different other adaptive athletes and see how, not necessarily how they adapted like workouts, but how they adapted life. Because people think I'm the coolest, like I'm gonna say cripple. I'm the coolest cripple they've ever seen, and I know tons of people that would just put me to shame that I think are just amazing, dude. Oh my God.
In what regard? Give us an example. Some of the things that inspire you.
Oh, okay. So my first CrossFit competition, it was adaptive CrossFit competition, but at the time they didn't have different divisions for like, you know, there's a ton of different disabilities. So they had like,
right, you had all these different categories.
Like no arms against no legs against cerebral palsy against like, so they're just like, it's like a big circus almost. So I went against it. It looked funky, man. It was so funny looking. I tell everybody, you know, Toy Story, the kid Sid that was like torturing the other toys. Yeah, I said we look like Sid's toys out there, like out there competing. Anyways, man. Okay, so as Joe Fonza, I'll go give him a shout out. He has no hands, no arms, like just missing completely everything, right? And they said he played baseball in high school, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna let that slide. I'm like, I can't hear that. And then one of the events leading up to that, one of the events at the competition was a rope climb. And I'm like, how the hell are you gonna do this? You know, like I've seen people climb ropes, like they use their feet and they use their hands. But I've never seen anybody just like not use their...
It's cut off like at the elbow.
Yeah, so I was like, how is he gonna do this? Let me see how this is gonna work, right? And he just got so inventive, man. I was like, dude, I'm watching like a real life superhero right now. So he got a water bottle and cut the top off and the bottom off, slid the rope through the water bottle, and he would like grab it with his feet, right, and then slide it up with his little arms and grab it with his, and then inches way up to the top of the rope, and then I'm talking firemen slide down that sucker with the water bottle. Like, looked so awesome. I was like, I don't think y'all understand what type of caliber of person we're looking at right now. Like, this is insane.
To achieve that. And
then you got like somebody like Casey Acker, he's got one arm, and he uses, this is the coolest thing to me ever, because he was like, it's the perfect thing. The Razor scooters, like those scooters you kick, not the electric scooters, but the actual Razor scooters, they come with a strap around the scooter. He took that strap and he's missing it like from right here. So he'll tie that strap to his little arm right there, tie it around the barbell, and he'll clean and jerk like the bar and stuff like that, right? And he's doing over 300 pounds, bro.
300 pounds.
Catching it like
Basically using a razor scooter as a hand almost.
razor scooter strap, just a strap. And he's like, it's the best strap I can find. So if he needs another
That
strap,
strap's
he'll
the
go buy a
strongest
razor
one.
scooter and remove it.
Throw away the scooter,
It's
keep
like, bro,
the
you should
strap.
patent that and make a strap, like, for other armless people. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you thought, you say patent stuff, have you thought of different ideas to make life easier, or do you
Just a scooter deal. Like
Just a scooter deal?
Yeah, because the actual attachment for the wheelchair itself is like $6,000. And I bought an electric scooter for like $600. And me and my buddy 3D printed a mount. And we just do a wheelie and pop up on the scooter and go.
inventive?
Yeah. And it goes 3 times as fast as the ones that are made for the wheelchairs. I've gotten up to like 53 miles an hour on them.
53 miles an hour?
On the wheelchair, kind of like on a scooter, but like on my wheelchair on top of a scooter.
53?
Yeah.
The fastest I ever did on those electric scooters was 19 miles an hour. And
Yeah.
I fell off, about died. So 53 miles an hour.
It's
Can't even imagine.
it's weird.
And you're close to the ground. This is mowing a lot faster.
Oh, dude, I'll have people like right behind me, and I'm like, dang, man, they're kind of like riding my butt, And I look behind me, and I'm thinking they're like mad, but they all got their cell phones out. Like, just looking. They can't believe like
They're trying to get closer.
A wheelchair's beside them going 50 miles an hour. I'm passing up cars. I get on the freeway every now and again. I go to Walmart.
That is wild. I would love to see some. You have a video of that? That would be incredible to share.
I'll give them to y'all. Yeah, y'all can definitely post it on.
Well, we're trying to gather some of these stories. We'll gather some of this stuff, and maybe we'll post it, as we go.
Yeah,
Get
hopefully,
some
man. I'll
stuff
give
from
y'all
you.
some snippets, definitely.
Sounds like some really cool snippets.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, man. The scooter thing was definitely it was like a wave of. I posted that, and it wasn't my idea. I actually seen somebody do it on like a internet meme a long time ago, where they were just like, one of them Lime scooters, those ones you can rent. They just, like I said, just popped a wheelie with their wheelchair, put their front foot plate on the scooter and took off, turned it to a trike basically, right? I was like, man, I can do it. So I went to Dallas, and me and my buddy watched a basketball game. I did it on the Lime scooter, and I had so much fun. I was like, bro, I'm gonna go home and buy an electric scooter, like I'm gonna get one. And I bought one, and I made the first mount with a little block of wood and a little divot. That's all it was, like a zip-tied piece of block of wood, a divot in it.
That's it.
And I had a buddy who was like, I could 3D print something better. So and now I got probably 1,000 other people in wheelchairs riding scooters. Yeah, I did.
Because you do a lot of social media. Mm-hmm. And
Tell us about your social real quickly. How many people you have on that one you were telling me?
I had a page get deleted before, but before it got deleted, I was at like about 200,000 followers, 250. Yeah, right now I'm probably at like 80 on Instagram. I'm at like 170 or something on TikTok, 170,000.
But one of your cool videos that you made had like 100 million views or something ridiculous.
That's what's weird is I get more traction, more views on this platform with less following than I did with the big following. Does that make sense?
It does not make sense, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so my average views on the page I have now is like in the millions, and then that's crazy average compared to my following I have.
That is strange.
And then my other page, which I had way more following, didn't get the views that this page does, or didn't get the traction.
I know there's algorithms and all that stuff that it's hard to understand how that stuff happens, but there's some reason behind it.
Oh, it's got to be, right? Like I'm doing something right this time that I wasn't doing last time, right?
You're learning.
It's amazing how you've been able to take what God has given you and just do so much with it. I mean, God, we know God's in control, but to be able to take, I'm just in awe because knowing what God gave you, which most people would think, wow, no leg. 2 million views, all this following, big inspirational, speaker to people, inspire so many people. You're actually blessed.
Oh yeah. You play poker? Y'all play poker at all?
I try. I donate a lot when I play poker.
I said
one time and I lost.
I said, oh boy, that's a weird sight. So I did. So basically, the worst hand you could possibly get dealt is 7 deuce, right? 7-2 is statistically the worst hand you can get before flop.
Okay.
Right. So one time they were asking me like, how do you turn your biggest weakness and like your biggest strength? I was like, man, I felt like I got dealt 7 deuce hand. I was like, but I played it like some pocket aces. I was like, it's not about the hand you're dealt, it's how you play it, right?
It is.
There you go. I
Not
feel
about
like
him.
the same thing with me. It's like, yeah, God's, I guess you could say like giving me the curse of no legs, but it's really not. Like I said, like I was saying, like I never would have. I could look at it. It was all poor me. But then again, I look at it as I never would be able to spread this type of inspiration or impact this amount of lives if I wasn't in the situation that I'm in. So I'll take the small sacrifice of living life like this than I would just being normal living like.
And it's the fact that you've played with the hand you're dealt with, and like you said, you were getting hate on there when you're doing stuff online. So you can imagine there's people there sitting on their couches with their 2 legs and watching you, thinking, "Oh yeah, well that's easy. No wonder he can do more pull-ups because he has no legs." They're looking at you as if you've got like an advantage.
Oh no!
And
right?
it's almost like, really? You
It's a little
have
weird.
every advantage there is, and you're not using it. You're criticizing the guy playing with the cards he's dealt with. It is strange.
It's
This
so-
is the mindset.
And the thing that got me was like I never said it wasn't easier without legs.
Yeah, you're
Like,
just doing your thing.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just
Somebody
doing
else,
me.
somebody else
Like,
is looking for criticism.
So I was like, what you're doing is you're making an excuse to why I could do something that you can't now.
Yes.
You're making something up now, right?
As if they're dealt a bad hand. That's the
Exactly.
part that's so
So it's like
odd.
it's weird to me. It's always been weird, Like the internet's a double-edged sword. Like it's a weird little cat and mouse game between like hate and love. You get, I feel like, which then again, like I say I got hate, but like you could have
criticism.
You could have 30 good comments and you can see one bad one, and your eyes will automatically go to that bad.
That's just human
right?
nature.
Like,
Anytime you're successful, you're gonna see somebody's gonna want to knock you off that little pedestal. And whether it's you, whether it's us, whether whoever it is, somebody's gonna always try to look at something on the negative.
yeah. And I never let it affect me too much. Like I've always kind of seen it as like a real big. I was like, bro, if you're coming to a Legless Dudes page to talk down
Criticize.
on what I'm doing, I was like, kind of that's an insecurity that you got to face every day, not me.
You gotta feel bad for that guy.
Like, a little Legless dude got you this insecure. Like,
yeah.
okay, you got. And then they'll be like, well, you're the one got to post the shirtless videos and all. I'm like, you came to my page, you forgot.
You can post a shirtless video too.
You forgot who came where, But then again, though, it's like I inspire a lot too. So with those who I say like hate on me, criticism, I got those who are like, oh man, you've opened the doors for me. Like when I first got injured, I looked at your profile for inspiration. Those are the ones that make it cool as hell to me.
Yeah,
like
it makes it worth
that.
it.
I love that. Like, cause like a lot of times you're like, man, why am I still doing this? Like, why am I still posting these workout videos and like, nobody really cares anymore.
Because you don't really know who you're impacting.
Exactly. And you'll get one out of the blue just to, I'm supposed to put my nub in my mouth. Like, just like, oh man, they're like, hey man, just let you know, like I went through dark times and, your profile helped me and this and that, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like that's where it's at. That's what I like, that's cool. Cause just one person will make a huge difference,
Just that one. And I think everybody has that ability to reach somebody that only they can reach.
Yeah.
Obviously you can reach people just from the platform you've got, but there's other people that could reach people as well with their story. But I think they're being selfish by just not sharing it because like what you said, you put it out there and you don't even know who you're helping. But what if you didn't do it? What if you just got self-conscious about it and didn't do it?
Yeah. Exactly.
No one would benefit.
And I didn't think honestly what I was doing was like that cool. I just thought I was being like a normal kid, for a lot of the things I was doing. But like I look at it now and I'm like, okay, I was doing stuff that like is unheard of for people in wheelchairs.
It is.
Yeah.
So before we close, I think we're getting down to time.
We are. Well, I lost track of time.
Oh wow.
So what's next for Zach?
Just keep this going. Like I said, I got like a little social media presence now, and I wanna do something with that. I kind of want to monetize off that and make something off of that. I don't know if it was starting another gym because I owned a gym at one point, and I did the whole personal training deal at a facility. I do it at my house now, but I don't know if I want to go that route or not anymore. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like
You're looking for your next challenge.
Yeah, I'm almost just sitting back and kind of coasting right now a little bit, seeing where. I love, like I said, I love rehabilitating people too. Like I love helping out as much as I can.
I think it's cool.
I do.
Well,
Zach, you've inspired me for a long time, and you really inspired me tonight.
Thank you.
as we wrap it up, put you on the spot, what would you summarize if you can get one message across to the listeners out there? What would that be?
One message across. If I could tell anybody, I say if you want to do something, jump into it full fledged, man, and don't let any. I said, just anybody dictate your decision on what you're going to do. Because I had a ton of people look at me throughout my life and say I wouldn't do the things I did, especially bullfighting. I mean, even when it comes
just the
down
doubters.
Doubting me. And what I've been great at is proving them all wrong. So if you believe you can do it, even though it's cliche sounding, if you believe you can do it, you can achieve it. I really do feel like the tongue and the brain is a powerful, powerful tool.
That's awesome.
I lean on the scripture in the Bible that says the same thing. I can do all things through Christ.
Who strengthens me. Mm-hmm.
He knows it. And his mama beat God into him.
There you go.
Yeah, he lied.
Well, Zach, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Hey.
I'm sure people are inspired by this, and you're going to continue to do things.
Absolutely.
We're going to follow you. But we have to
Appreciate
close
y'all,
out
man.
every show. Life comes at us. We tell everybody to keep their guard up. And we just look at the camera. Just keep our guard up.
Keep our guard up. Keep your guard up.
Zach's been around that boxing gym a few times.
I did.